Good evening, I'm Sonia Kaliselvam and this is KiniNews. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has responded to questions on the Bloomberg report that had made claims about political interference in graft props. Here's what he said.
SPRM sendiri telah membuat kenyataan yang tegas menafikan tomahan tersebut kerana apa yang berlaku hanya arahan umum yang saya lakukan termasuk di Parlimen bahawa saya mahu SPRM, LHDN, PDRM, badan-badan penguat kuasa bertindak tegas memerangi rasuah secara tegas tanpa tolak ansur dan badan penguatkuasaan memerangi jenayah dengan tegas. Ini yang arahan yang diberikan tetapi tidak melibatkan kes-kes khusus kerana SPRM seperti juga Jabatan Peguam Negara harus bertindak bebas dan telus without fear or favour.
The Home Minister has revealed that children in GISBH welfare homes were forced to do 500 years course as punishment for disciplinary issues. He said this while responding to criticism that the authorities were acting excessively with regard to this particular case.
Tetapi pokok pangkalnya apa? Kebajikan kanak-kanak. Tak boleh ada eksploitasi ke atas kanak-kanak sebagai tenaga kerja, disuruh bekerja di kilang, di kebun dan sebagainya tanpa bayaran. Sebab itu dianggap sebagai sebahagian pada proses latihan amali yang mereka terima. Dan kalau berlaku pelanggaran disiplin, misalnya berbaris ambil makanan tak kena barisannya, itu diambil tindakan. Tok ketampi bukan 100, 500 kali. Ya. Dan hal-hal yang detail sebegini memadai kita minta supaya pihak polis diberikan kepercayaan untuk menjalankan siasatan. Dan apabila siasatan itu dilengkapkan dalam bentuk kertas siasat, diserah kepada Peguam Negara, di situ nanti diputuskan. Sebab itu, sambil siasatan itu berjalan, sudah ada yang dibawa ke muka pengadilan, sudah ada sabitan. Ada 15 kertas siasatan berakhir pertuduhan. Masih banyak lagi yang perlu kita lengkapkan. Sebab itu ketika kita menggunakan kaedah biasa, sahabat saya Kota Baru, seorang peguam faham, kerana saiz tangkapan yang begitu ramai, kita akan minta reman. Mahkamah akan bagi 7 hari. Kita belum selesaikan lagi. Sebab kita nak invoke 12 akta. Kita minta tambahan, mahkamah bagi 7. Kita minta tambahan, ada mahkamah bagi 5. Kita minta tambahan, ada mahkamah bagi 3. Tak sempat habis kerana jumlah yang ramai. Kerana itu bila kita tengok, dia ada elemen yang dipanggil sebagai ianya dilakukan secara berkumpulan, satu atau lebih. Kemudian dia melibatkan jenayah yang dianggap serius. Kalau pemerdagangan orang itu serius, misalnya. Kemudian dia memberikan keuntungan dari segi materials, keuangan, kuasa atau pengaruh. Jadi ianya fit untuk kita invoke 130V kandung keseksaan bagi membolehkan selepas tamat tempoh reman, kita guna pakai SOSMA. Dan SOSMA semua kita tahu. Ya, dalam masa 28 hari mereka peguam boleh akses dan mereka mesti dibawa ke muka pengadilan. Proses itu sangat jelas dalam proses kita membuat keputusan ini.
Head to Kinitv.com to watch his full response from Parliament. Next, Najib has withdrawn an appeal to lift a mariva injunction against him. His lawyer told the court today that the appeal has become academic.
Najib Abdul Razak has withdrawn his appeal to lift a mariva injunction against him to prevent the dissipation of $681 million of assets in Malaysia. Najib's counsel, Muhammad Shafi, told the Court of Appeal this morning that the appeal has become academic. However, he did not elaborate on the matter. The court allowed the appeal withdrawal and ordered the defendant to pay 30,000 ringgit in costs to 1MDB and its 4 subsidiaries. On February 9, 2022, the Kuala Lumpur High Court allowed 1MDB's restraining order to maintain the status quo in the plaintiff's ongoing $8 billion lawsuit against Najib. Among the effects of the mariva injunction is that Najib can only withdraw 100,000 ringgit monthly from his bank account for daily expenditures. A mariva injunction is a freezing or asset protection order that prevents a defendant or respondent from transferring assets, which may include money held in banks or financial institutions pending the completion of legal action. In the civil action, 1MDB claimed that $681 million of the troubled Malaysian sovereign wealth fund's monies flowed into the account of Najib, who used to be chairperson of its board of advisors.
Shamsul Iskandar's disclosure of the events that transpired on the night of the 15th general election has led to responses from several Amno leaders. Azalina Othman Said told him to respect the democratic process.
Amno leaders have hit out against Shamsul Iskandar Madakin over his claims of the events that transpired on the night of the 15th general election. This was on his claims in a podcast that he did not challenge the results of the election because of the bigger picture. Shamsul had lost to Amno President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi by a slim majority of 348 votes for the Bagan Datuk seat. The PKR leader said although he was disappointed, he had let the issue rest following a conversation with Anwar Ibrahim that they were forming a government. In response to this, Amno lawmaker Azalina Othman Said told Shamsul to respect the democratic process and avoid making statements that could fuel negative speculation and undermine public confidence. In a Facebook post, Azalina argued that Shamsul, as a senior politician, should have acted more responsibly to uphold political integrity, particularly when discussing elections. She suggested that Shamsul should have accepted the election results gracefully and used the Election Commission as the appropriate channel for any objections. Meanwhile, in a post on Instagram, Wanita Amno Executive Council member Nurul Hidayah, who is also Zahid's daughter, said when someone believes they know everything and portray themselves as the ultimate hero, what follows is delusion. Although she did not name Shamsul, her post featured a screenshot from the podcast.
A former bar president has shared his view on the extradition of convicted murderer Sirul Azhar Umar, who is in Australia.
Australia will unlikely extradite convicted murderer Sirul Azhar Umar as long as the death penalty remains part of Malaysian law. This is according to former bar president Saleem Bashir. His comments came after Altan Tuya Sharibu's family sought an immediate update from Attorney General Ahmad Teruddin Mohamed Salah on his next steps in extraditing the former police commando following the sentence commutation of Sirul's fellow accused Azila Hadri. Sirul had fled to Australia after his conviction in the murder of the Mongolian national in 2015, where he remains. According to FMT, Saleem said it is Australia's policy not to extradite foreigners facing the death penalty in their home country, in line with its international human rights obligations. He added that the death penalty is still part of Malaysian law, despite judges now being given the discretion to commute the punishment to life imprisonment. On October 10th, the federal court allowed Azila's application to commute his death sentence to 40 years imprisonment and 12 strokes of the cane, effective from the date of his arrest. Meanwhile, Sirul spent years under Australian immigration detention for overstaying a tourist visa. In November last year, the 52-year-old was released from detention and is understood to still be in Australia.
Flash floods hit several parts of KL today, causing many to be late for work. This included lawmakers who were trapped in the floods.
The Dewan Rakyat meeting was postponed today as lawmakers arrived late for work due to flash floods in Kuala Lumpur. The meeting was supposed to start at 10 a.m. with the Prime Minister's question time. However, Speaker Johari Abdul informed the House that the session would be postponed to 10:30 a.m.
Di luar sana, hujan terlalu lebat dan beberapa jalan telah pun naik banjir dan ramai di antara ahli yang berhormat telah terperangkap dalam banjir tersebut. Oleh demikian, saya ingin gunakan peraturan mesyuarat 12/2 untuk menangguhkan mesyuarat ini hingga jam 10:30 pagi. Terima kasih.
According to Bernama, several roads in KL here were inundated following a downpour from about 9 a.m. today. Based on CCTV cameras of the Kuala Lumpur City Hall, the Integrated Transport Information System, and the public social media posts, some of the affected roads were Jalan Parlimen heading towards Bukit Aman, Jalan Perak, and the Sultan Iskandar Highway. Meanwhile, the Smart Expressway's X account said the Smart Tunnel had been closed to road users and a flood operation was being carried out.
Amana has called on the MACC to ensure that the culprits in a sand mining concession investigation be brought to justice, even if the person is someone prominent.
Selangor Amanah has urged the MACC to ensure that the culprits implicated in a sand mining concession investigation face justice. In a statement yesterday evening, its communications director Abbas Azmi said, "They hope the efforts by the MACC will not stop and the culprit is brought to justice, even if the person is someone prominent." He said that as a state that practices good and ethical governance under Pakatan Harapan and the coalition government, these wrongdoings cannot be tolerated. Therefore, he said, Selangor Amanah urges MACC to continue its investigation and ensure that the state of Selangor continues to practice good governance. Yesterday, Azam had said that 2 more safe houses were raided in the Klang Valley last night, bringing the total to 3. Azam also said he expected investigators to raid more safe houses in connection with the case. Previously, it was reported that MACC seized millions in cash from an apartment in Kuala Lumpur, linked to a politician in a raid on Saturday. Azam had said the commission also discovered that the politician had made investments in Singapore. Quizzed if the politician is from the government or the opposition, he said that is $1 million question, and he will reveal it when the time is right.
That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Sonia Kaiselvam. Thanks for watching.